As we welcome you to the AMNA Championships, the men's open game for the last one for day 4. It's court 1. Michael Van Dorsen, Terran King with you. Terran, we get to see New South Wales taking on Victoria, a game that many believe is going to be a grand final preview as to what we might see.
Absolutely, Michael, and thank you for having me here alongside you. Here on Court 1 as we see a 2024 Brisbane Nationals grand final rematch, so one of the more reasons as to believe that this will be a grand final preview here in Melbourne. So we see New South Wales as a replay ball call there on Eugene Lee in the goal attack bid.
So looking forward to what this one has to offer. Prime time, there's cheer squads in. Keely's trying to work her way through. Most of the Victorian cheer squads in. We've heard them in fine voice to start off with.
Absolutely, we have as the first one there for Brodie Robertson, the Victorians, and already a break on centre pass for them.
So they lead it. The matchups or the team lineups. Anton Stahilski in goal shooter with Eugene Lee, Joe Miller, Liam Fokadilla and Jack Vanderveld. The mid-court there for New South Wales, or Dylan Nexip and Victor Nikolic are the two in defence. While for the Vicks, it's Liam Keely and Brodie Roberts up forward with Jake Noonan, Bailey Richardson in wing attack, Jake Noonan centre, Ronan Pring wing defence, Alistair Pushon and Josh Byron make up the defence as Vic with 2 early goals.
Yeah, absolutely, Michael, 2 early ones. This is New South Wales probably just going to look to consolidate here and just score their own centre passes. The Victorians are a bit light on their bench with mid-quarter Adam Franz coming down with, I believe it was food poisoning in the last couple of days. I heard earlier today speaking to some of the Opens boys, and interestingly enough, Zach Mabuya on the bench for New South Wales, former Victorian player, moved into state study University of Sydney, I believe, doing physiotherapy, as we see a touch there from Nikolic.
Had Dave Huey on earlier in comms when we did New South Wales earlier today, and he was saying they felt really bad that they stole Zach from Victoria.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be happy to have him though, as we see Roberts now.
I did feel like it was tongue-in-cheek that comment.
Yeah, I have a feeling here he is, Roberts stepping through for his second of the night. It's now Vanderveld and Lee as Australian Kelpies head coach Nerida Stewart watches on with a watchful eye on the left-hand side there. Plenty of Australian Kelpies in this game as punching strong hands over and Byron had a fly. Unable. Lee's shot is good. Long 3 seconds there from Eugene Lee, but settles himself into this one.
I was going to say Byron flew for that one, but didn't really look like going anywhere near it, to be perfectly honest.
It was just a really good ball there from, I can't remember who fed that in. I believe it was Fokadilla maybe. It was Richardson looking. Long hold on that ball. Noonan now finding Roberts in the wide area. Noonan bumping off a few bodies there, and contact called on Jake Noonan there. Jack Vanderveld hitting the floor.
Got to pull that one up, don't you, when you see it?
Absolutely, and umpire's making it clear that not a lot of physical contact off the body is going to be accepted here. We've got to start that umpire lineup. Sorry to cut you off there, Michael.
No, that's right.
James Matthews-Mara does some SSN stuff, so very lucky to have him as a AA badged umpire as Noonan rides the body contact there from Fokadilla.
As they start again, working it down the wing, as that's going to be over a third. Just both sides really trying to settle early on.
Yeah, absolutely, and tensions will be running high in this game. It's going to be pretty much a rivalry amongst the Victorians and New South Wales.
Just in everything that they do.
Yeah, seems to be. As Byron gets a nice tip there out of court. We see this crowd is continuing to build. A couple of different Victorian teams around. I can see the mixed team, the 23s. 23s just played and beat the ACT men's reserve team as New South Wales. Crowd looking a bit thin, but I'm sure they'll be nice and vocal today.
I'm sure we'll get to hear from them. The ACT boys playing on the court below us as well.
As well as the Queenslanders going up in that open men's division, as here's Vanderveld in the back on the reset. Fokadilla finds Lee. Stahilski staying home pretty early, and that's a really nice take there from Eugene Lee through the pressure of Josh Byron, and Josh Byron out punching, almost wearing matching shoes it seems, on the bright fluoro green. Not hard to miss from up here, up on the balcony of court 2.
Yep. As we're back to 3-3. New South Wales going through. That's Miller. Stahilski working his way through.
Now back here, Vanderveld and Forcadell working together. Would have gained tip there
great
from
work
punching.
there.
So we see here Miller, the ball here on the sideline as Puncheon makes his way back into the ring. Swing ball is on for Forcadell, and that is where it goes as Lee just uses Stahilski as a nice screen and now drops it off to him nicely. So New South Wales will take their first lead of the game here, 4-3, 5 minutes played.
So you reckon both benches would be sitting there going, just need to calm it down a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of these benches, contact there from Vanderveld. Just want to inject themselves in this game, even if it's easy for that sort of short 5-minute burst. They want to be able to make an impact. As head coaches Jared Murphy and Maury Gaha watch on, see what combinations work, maybe for a possible rematch across the final series. As Kylie with a nice shot there.
Forcadell to get us back underway. Lee in the pocket. Stahilski comes out to get it. Lee goes into the circle. Miller.
Contact on the outside there from Noonan. Miller hold live, long time.
That was a very long time. Haven't seen too many calls today, but that was definitely felt like it was there.
Absolutely, Miller. We just need to let that go a little bit sooner as Byron finds Puncheon. Contact there from Stahilski. Puncheon wasting no time through court. That's a part of the game that Al Puncheon and Josh Byron do incredibly well. Just working that ball all the way up through court. Obstruction called there on Nikolic. Just there as he turned and blocked on Kylie. It's Roberts. Contact there from his own player, so it wasn't going to get anything there, but unfazed is Brody Roberts. Puts in another for the Victorians. Tip there off the hands of Roberts and Nexip, I believe. Captain of this team, Dill Nexip, and captain of the Australian Kelpies. The pioneer he's been for men's netball.
And New South Wales assistant coach as well. Swifts, that is.
Indeed, he is.
In the SSN. Lee. So it's a very tall goal circle, isn't it? With the exception of Eugene Lee.
Yeah, Eugene Lee, the only man in there that's really that sort of shorter stature. Puncheon does a more than ample job of defending those smaller goalers. There's now Byron will have a crack. It's a nice tip. Really a second try. Contact call. Stahilski just received that ball there from Lee. And that ball popped in as we have a stray ball here from court two, so time will be held.
Oh, it's going to hit the umpire.
Joel Owen nearly caught one at the back of the head there. And Miller,
Falcon.
repossession call there against Ronan Pring. So Dill Nexip will take this ball in the third. Finds Lee. Great connection those two have together as Pring called for the contact on the outside against Joe Miller.
Having to go back to go forward at the transverse line. Vanderveld helping out.
Byron had a look at that one. Lee coming in the front space. Another nice tip there. I think that, not come off Joe Miller. I maybe thought so. As Pring is everywhere early on. And Ronan Pring, and as like with a lot of players on this court, I believe, I'm sure a few phone calls from head coach Neri will be coming their way in the near future as Pring. Another one.
Just going after the ball no matter who's in the way.
Lee, high ball, Forcadell now. Stahilski to the post. Good work done from him as Puncheon jumps from behind.
Probably a little bit early on that one.
New South Wales back in the lead here, nearly just over halfway done as the New South Wales defence.
Oh no!
They set a really nice wall, the New South Wales defence, and that forced Noonan to look back and mishandle that ball. As Puncheon comes up with it, as we see Deepak Batu waiting for his chance in centre as he'll step up to the rolling subs line. Deepak caught up late into the Victorian Open squad due to the injury of Jaden Cowling, who is there on the bench, the Victorian team, but Batu coming up from the men's reserves. So one opportunity for him, who was unfortunately last year had to withdraw due to injury. He was in the men's open side, but that paved the way for Adam Franz, who unfortunately isn't with us today due to that food poisoning I spoke about earlier. But here does come Deepak Batu.
He's on the court, replacing Jake Noonan. The quick change. See what it can do. Lee finds Forcadell.
Stahilski opening up the front very nicely. Obstruction call.
Nice sort of chairlift going on there.
Absolutely. Just need to find that distance right. Those two down there, but I'm sure they'll do that again. I'm sure we haven't seen that finish for tonight. I reckon the key matchup in this game is Kylie and Victor Nikolic in there down in the Victorian goal shooting end. Kylie probably got the best of Nikolic in the grand final last year, which, along with Cameron Allen, who's no longer in this Victorian team. But with that being said, Liam Kylie was massive in that grand final, which helped them get over the line. He's been massive so far in the Nationals so far, shooting prior to this game 118 for 131 at 90%.
Yep.
The most prolific of the Victorian shooters, as to be expected with his large frame and stature.
But he's putting up the most shots as well, comfortably. Roberts in there with him at the moment, and he's hit 65 from 80 as well at 81.
Yeah, absolutely. And New South Wales, though, has probably been shared around a bit more. As Bryce,
I was quite surprised at that, to be perfectly honest.
yeah, Stahilski's not that dominant shooter that Kylie is. In fact, it's Stephen Bryce who's taking a seat on the bench here for the first quarter. He's shot 79 from 86 at 92, the most accurate of all shooters here in this game today. As Richardson a long swing ball to Roberts, those two have got an incredible connection, having trained with these guys a lot in the lead up to Nationals. Really enjoyed learning from Liam Kylie in particular as that sort of holding mobile shooter. Here he is in a good position. He's going to try and rebound if Roberts was to miss, but he's going to be very unlikely with Brody Roberts in the form that he is.
9-7 the score, 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. This game is ebbing and flowing really well, Lee.
And Byron, great cover there on the outside drive there from Stahilski. Miller looking back, that reset option they're not afraid to give. His Nexip resets this penalty. Is Miller again back to Nexip. Miller finding Lee. So Lee, that real connector down there between the mid-quarters and the goalers, and then opening up Stahilski at the post.
He did this earlier on as well. Earlier today, he leaves that one short, tips it up to himself, but he can't get that.
Now Pring just settling the Victorians really nicely, finds Punchin and now Richardson, and now into attack go the Victorians. Kylie comes up to the front. Nice move there by Richardson, reaching the top of the circle. Kylie there in a great position and a big split. And up over Nikolic, and he's amped up. Liam Kylie happy with himself on that one, and as he should be.
10-7 the score. As well, Richardson mid-court, finding a way through to Punchin.
Long ball, Kylie.
Kylie had a name read all over it. Although he's left it short, that was not the greatest opportunity.
It was an air ball from Liam Kylie. Looked to rectify that one on his next go-round. 2.5 minutes, or just over, to go here in this first quarter. It's been an entertaining one at that, fast-paced to be sure. And Punchin with a tip, and look at the hustle to go back and get it. Ripped in there by Roberts. What a move there by Al Punchin. Getting the tip and the hustle to go and chase.
Roberts left had to leap nice and high to try and pull that one in. He was able to do so.
There's Kylie contact on the outside by Nikolic, so Kylie will just set up behind. Roberts in front of Dylan Nexip, who's the smaller of the two defenders. And Kylie drops that one in.
It's a nice lob over the top. Out to a 4-goal lead, the Vicks. Miller on the transfer.
Long three again, finds Stahilski though. And Stahilski puts it in.
I must admit, I was going through and checking those stats out in regards to who's got the scores for the New South Wales, and they just haven't had. I thought there was more, but they've obviously been wrapped up nicely. Like they've been working their way through each way, and Vicks get another one.
Absolutely, Coach Morikawa making sure rotation is at the top of her priority list. As Joe Miller fumbles that one, recollects, and Stahilski now through the middle. Finding Forcadilla. Byron body contact. Punching all over that one, and just lets that ball go in transition to Roberts. Seems to be that connector as Eugene Lee is for the New South Wales. Roberts finding Kylie now. On the swivel. Finds Richardson. Now looking, resets all the way back to Punchin. Now Richardson back to Punchin. Tip there from Forcadilla, contact call.
Not a great deal of movement up forward at the moment for the Vicks.
Oh, Kylie there, yeah, pushed off Victor Nikolic there, and coming into the last minute here of the first quarter is Vanderveld finds Nexip. Crossover now to Miller. Nexip doing a lot of the ball carrying here. Vanderveld just focused on his defensive work as Lee sends that over the top of Joe Miller. So a bit of disconnect here for New South Wales. As Vanderveld has a fly, and that ball Over the top finds Kylie as Nick Nexip sends him sliding off into the concrete wall.
One of all of our sponsors for the day.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you to all of those sponsors, as you can see on your screen. And Roberts puts that ball in. So Kylie looks up and okay. It's 10 seconds to go. The Victorians will want to convert on this centre. And Roberts, the Kylie contact call, no goal, that will be. And that'll draw a close to the first quarter here. We'll call one of the State of Hockey Centre, Michael.
It is unbelievable. 13-8 as the Vics make sure they clap everyone, including the crowd, and the Victorians crowd is raucous behind their bench.
Absolutely, Michael, and they are indeed up and about. We'll be back after we rest our vocal cords here for the second quarter of this men's open clash between Victoria and New South Wales.
The Get Active Victoria app is an easy way to step into everyday activity with videos on yoga, dance, low impact and more. Set your own goals and track your progress. Victoria app today.
Sally is your local netball administrator. She receives daily messages from her umpires on her phone and Facebook. Mary just messaged, and Craig, Sam and Jane. Struggling with managing umpire rosters like Sally? The Time Umpire software allows you to take control with ease. Check out timeumpire.com.au.
Hi, I'm Paul, General Manager at Strapdoor. Here at Strapdoor, we're committed to providing high quality sports tapes that keep up with the demands of athletes around Australia without breaking the bank. Every roll of tape we produce meets stringent quality standards, ensuring all athletes can perform at their best with reliable support and peak flexibility. And because we believe in the value of our products, we're offering an exclusive 30% discount offer for sporting clubs. It's the perfect time to experience the difference Strapdoor can make. Follow us on our socials for the latest offers and updates. We're here to support all athletes and clubs' journeys. Join our community and elevate your game.
As we welcome you back to Melbourne Sports Centres in Parkville, it is Court 1 action, prime time for your Tuesday evening New South Wales versus Victoria Men's Open edition. Taryn King, Michael Van Dorsa in commentary with you, and it's Victoria with a 13-8 first quarter lead, Taryn, and it's been unbelievable, hasn't it?
Absolutely, it has been, Michael, and it's been really fast-paced and really ping-ponging action, which has been really great to see. What do you expect here from this Men's Open division? It's been sharing the load across both shooting circles as we looked in the break. Kylie with 6 goals, Brodie Roberts with 7, Stahilski 5 and Lee with 3 in there. So sharing the load across all the different goalers in there. Let's take a look, and Jake Hendricks has made his way onto the court for the Victorians in the goal defence bib, and Patu was introduced late there in that first quarter. So Hendricks hands over that first shot. Stahilski leaves it short. Pulls in a big rebound there, though, over Jake Hendricks, and finishes off the second time of asking.
You get the feeling that the bench from New South Wales might be looking at Steve Rice or someone like that to come in for Stahilski. Leaving a few on the iron at the moment. And he's not probably getting the arcing shot that he wants.
Yeah, absolutely. And the pressure of Josh Byron's going to do that. He varies his motions over the shot, as does Jake Hendricks. So they're both intimidating targets to shoot over. So we're going to see what Coach Moragaha elects to do. But as we were saying in that first one, as Stahilski lets that ball go off the foot of Joe Miller, I believe. We'll see what head coach Moragaha does in terms of the rotation. Bryce does have that bib on in case a change needs to be made. Byron Long swinging ball. Forcadilla runs offside though.
Just quickly, while we're talking about games and all that sort of stuff, the one below us, that one was an interesting one. We caught that in the break. 16-5 in favour of the ACT over Queensland.
Absolutely. Pretty much a shock to the both of us, but ACT putting themselves on the map here in this one. Looking for their first win, or both teams searching for their first win, but the ACT looks to be doing so at the moment, but we will refocus our vision back onto court one, because that game is going to become almost hard not to watch. Just see an obstruction call in the ring on Jake Hedricks, I think.
No, I think it was against Byron in the end.
My mistake. Good distance there from Hedricks, but popped in by Eugene Lee. So, again, sharing that shooting load. As we see Bryce, and I believe it's Jerich that's gone over to start warming up.
I think Lee's trying to do the work that he's been doing throughout the tournament thus far, as Roberts will get this one nicely under the ring. The even spread's really been shared between the two in the Victorian goal circle.
Absolutely, and even more so across the New South Wales shooting core. All four shooters being used pretty often, as Stahilski almost went through the back of Josh Byron there, but Eugene Lee in the front space pops in a nice little shot.
We know that they're in a game, that's for sure, as Patu will start us again. They're working their way through the Vicks. Can they find it through to Keeley? They can. Roberts looks pocket, finds Richardson. There's a contact hold. Nikolic on Keeley. Keeley's able to sink that one. You all right, mate?
Yeah, absolutely. So just got a bit of a scratchy throat with all the commentary we've been doing, Michael. I'm sure you are well aware.
Get some pineapple juice, mate. I think that helps you.
Pineapple juice. I'll keep
helps
that,
the vocal cords.
Keep that in mind.
As this worked out nicely for Miller. Lee with a nice little frog hop into the baseline. He's going to take an extra step in, and both defenders now out for Victoria. Makes it an easier shot. Back to 4 to difference. The Vicks will go again. Pring. Richardson. Keeley, the big target in the middle. Roberts on the outside. Keeley calling for it. Needs to try and get baseline well. I reckon that's going to be contact on Nikolic. And so Roberts will take it on the edge of the circle. And Keeley will just put that one in very nicely.
So it's hard to stop in there, that goaling ring, Liam Kiley's big target up there, and he's really strong in his body. He's really happy with his performances leading up to Nationals, and since at Nationals, been speaking to him and working with him a lot in the lead up as Stahilski, as the umpire takes a tumble. And a repossession call, so I believe this would go to Victoria as we just hold time to wipe the umpire's section of the court.
I reckon that's where Kylie went down earlier.
I do think so. He's a big boy, so he probably left a big puddle of sweat down there, but as I was saying, he's put a lot of work in, and he's really happy, and Coach Jared Murphy's really happy with the game that he's been able to put together. Not only confident in that back ball, but through the front as well. As it looks like Zach Mabilia might be coming on against his former stay here in the centre bit, just getting instruction from the coaching staff, and yeah, here he comes, stepping up into the rolling subs bench.
Forcadilla going to come from the court at some point. Kylie.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Gets that one.
Wouldn't be surprised if Liam Forcadilla runs into maybe a wing attack to give Joe Miller a break, perhaps.
Well, Miller played the whole game earlier against South Australia. It's Kylie with a nice little flick and a little layup. Forcadilla comes off now.
Here comes Zach Mabilia. So this will be a pretty invaluable experience for Zach Mabilia, only 18 or 19 years old, I believe. The latter of the two is Kylie finding Richardson on the circle's edge, and there he is again. Liam Kylie's hard to stop. The layup become a staple of his game.
So Mabilia with his first centre pass, he doesn't even get to pass it. And as you're right with Forcadilla, wing attack bib on, ready to go. Mabilia has to go back to Vanderveld. Lee.
Hans Miller, Mabuya just around the outside. Short pass in there to the chest of Stahilski.
Tell you, he has been really good thus far. That's
Van
Howard.
Hold.
Really good so far. I think Richardson's done a fantastic job on Vanderbilt at the moment because Vanderbilt's barely been sighted. And he's normally one of their major engine room as he's trying to get a tip on that one.
Yeah, absolutely spot on, Michael. Vanderbilt, member of that Australian Kelpies team. He's in there for as a contactor there on Kylie on the inside. He's known for his ability just to shut down, almost like a tagger in AFL. Just his ability to shut down opposing wing attacks or centres. But Riley Richardson played his game really smart. He's sacrificing his own game almost just to draw him away from the play and let Patu and Roberts really do the majority of the work as that ball just sails over. So a bit faltering here for the Victorians as Stephen Bryce looks to come on into the goal shoot a bit. We'll wait to see when Stahilski makes his way to the bench.
One we sort of flagged a little bit earlier. Fokadia is on at wing attack, as you said. As they're having to go back to go forward here, New South Wales. Mabuya in the pocket.
Oh, just past the hands of Ronan Pring there. Eugene Lee trying to direct traffic. The crowd is up and about. Look at the Victorian bench. They are up on their feet. Stahilski up through the middle now.
Finds Lee. That's not the person you want to be passing it to. But they're going back to Nexup again.
They've come all the way back. Gone up and back about 3 times. And there's the tip. And Richardson, like you said, Michael, Richardson now doing the defensive work. What a passage there for the Victorians.
Unbelievable. As they're working their way through Hendricks. And through to Roberts. Kylie find a way through. Roberts will come sneak through the front. As that change has been made too. Stahilski going off. And Bryce coming on. As we're going to see the ball go down the tunnel. That was a great passage of play for the Vics. They'd be very happy with that.
Absolutely. That whole bench was up and about the crowd as well. Oh, Zach Mabuya there with a touch over the top of Deepak Patu. So welcome to the game, Zach. His real first moment in this one against his former state. Nice ball there to Lee, and he'll look to put up no hands off to Bryce. He's going to look to keep his 92% shot rate. That was a good one. He's into 80 goals now for the tournament. The most prolific of this New South Wales shooting corps. Richardson another touch offside this time. As you see Noonan getting ready for the wing defence position. Will replace Ronan Pring. He might end up going back on in a different position.
So Mabuya on the transverse line. Fokadia. Cross to Mabuya in the pocket on the right-hand side of the court. Bryce with a nice opportunity.
And a great sweeping drive there from Eugene Lee. Coming through the front, drawing Jake Hendricks, making him choose one or the other. He chose Lee, so Bryce opened up. Is Richardson looking long in the
pass. How about that for a leap as well from Roberts?
The iconic Brodie Roberts leap into the circle, getting right in there. And here comes that change. Noonan now on for Ronan Pring. There's obstruction called in the middle there against Brodie Roberts. It's still Nexup. Will come up and take this one and steps across. And a good tip there from Noonan, so a good start from him. As that ball is sent back from court too.
Yeeted through.
Absolutely there from Billy Mayer. As we see Queensland really struggling in their game, down 24-9. Maybe unexpected to a few.
Yeah. And Lee's out getting this one. C's parted beautifully for him. Bryce doesn't get it to go though, and Lee. How Lee got the rebound there, being the shortest one in there.
Well, strong hands over there by Hendricks and Byron, but nonetheless, as we see Nathan Jervick coming on in the goal attack bib, so taking off Eugene after that rebound and goal. There's a nice screen there from Kylie. Nikolic there with a touch, and Mabuya collects. So very nicely done there from New South Wales. Their defence is slowly starting to click as this margin's back to 4 now, Michael.
It is. Fokadia. Hendricks is out. Germack on. Fokadia feeds Bryce. Bryce turns, looks at it and gets it to dribble in. 3 goals with the centre pass here. New South Wales. New South Wales fans in the crowd just starting to find their voice a bit. Nexup.
Oh, Noonan probably could have had a crack at that one, left it be.
He thought about it. Like 3 or 4 times, I think.
Yeah, I reckon he did. As maybe tactical move there by head coach Jared Murphy to try and get some bigger bodies there into that mid-court, as Noonan is a pretty forceful guy. He's got some muscles on muscles, does Jake Noonan.
Contact call in the circle there, Germack.
His first attempt at the game's a good one.
So we're back to 2. For all the defensive work that Victoria have done, they haven't been able to get it on the scoreboard, to be honest, in the last little while.
Not yet, as the New South Wales defenders have gotten more and more involved in this game. Yet to see a massive contribution from Vandervelde, though, so he's probably going to be wanting to get back into it. Is Kylie too far out for him? He's in the front space, probably didn't get much closer. Roberts probably needs to get involved in the front space here to help open up Kylie, as that tip there from Nikolic is a good one.
Vandervelde just starting to get himself into the game, as we were talking about. A few passes back to him.
Mabilia there finds Germack. Short pass there. Tried to drill it into Stephen Bryce, even with the fumble. Short pass called as Vandervelde just caught out trying to hunt in the middle third as Riley Richardson hits the deck. Advantage called, I believe.
Yep.
And Riley Richardson now calling for a towel with 3 minutes to go. Time will be held. So the New South Wales defence, Michael, has just really started to click here in the last 5 minutes, being able to get plenty of turnovers, as we've seen. And on the bench, they've got a couple different options to go for. Jason Welmer, young man, he was in the under-23s last year.
First time selected, I believe, in the open squad.
Yeah, absolutely. And Martin Blundell in there, a veteran for New South Wales men's. As Jermick coming through the front, nice little sweep there. And he'll look to put up his second and drills it.
That's a nice looking shot too.
Absolutely.
Nice and high.
Nice and high release, getting away from the hands of Byron and Hendricks. We see on the Victorian bench some unused pieces so far. Tom Hardwick gets to make his way on the court. I believe he is the only one. As that ball for Kylie is tipped down to Roberts, who will look to put this one in as Nikolic, with a strong sort of hip and shoulder almost on Liam Kylie. Trying to rough him up a bit perhaps, and here is walking in, German through the front. Bryce opens up, Byron with the tip.
Germack getting up high to try and get that one in too.
Absolutely, through the body contact of Jake Hendricks. It's Bryce now with a nice finish.
So still hovering around that 2-goal mark. 2 minutes to play. Richardson near side, part 2 on the opposite pocket. Roberts there. Looks for Kylie. And Kylie, the rejection. Nikolic contact though.
A nice finish there from Kylie. So Nikolic, if there's anyone that's going to have to put a stop to Liam Kylie, it is Victor Nikolic. He seems to be the benchmark for men's open defenders in talking to both. I'm talking to Kylie and Roberts. There's that ball off the shin there of Stephen Bryce. Connor Lilly also on the Victorian bench, who's not been used as of yet. So 2 shooters for the Victorians as Noonan was contact there from Forcadell.
So the Vicks with an opportunity here to go forward. Hendricks works to Richardson. Flick over the top. They've worked it out nicely. Roberts there.
Nicely ball.
For Richardson.
And here comes Roberts. Hard screen there by Kylie.
Wrong screen, very much so. Roberts should finish this with a minute to go. 4 goals to margin now. Victoria Centre.
Still next hit, not happy with the treatment he got there from Liam Kylie, having a chat to umpire James Matthews-Marr.
So Vic just controlling the play at the moment. Roberts, quick ball in to Kylie.
And there he is, Liam Kylie, and looking in all, he's hyped up. That lead back out to 5, 35 remaining. It's time is held.
I think Nixon got a little bit frustrated in that one. As he came out, Nabilia. He's been good since coming on. Bryce into his pocket.
Tip there.
That was well done.
Roberts just saying to calm down. They know they have the next centre pass, so they want to have enough time on the clock, which will make them use that centre pass. As part 2 finds Richardson. Vandervelde doing a lot of work to keep Roberts outside the circle and sweeping. Ball goes up and in for Kylie. Contact called. So not the first offensive contact for Liam Kylie. Probably needs to clean that up here in the second half, as that closes the second quarter as a Victorian 5-goal lead, 25-20, Michael. It's been an interesting first half.
Well, it's back to where it was at quarter time. It got down to 2 goals, but we're back to a 5-goal spread there. 25-20, a fascinating one. As we can hear the kids doing their school holiday homework with spelling out Victoria. Good work.
Absolutely, it's good to see.
We will take a break.
The Get Active Victoria app is an easy way to step into everyday activity with videos on yoga, dance, low impact and more. Set your own goals and track your progress. Victoria app today.
Sally is your local netball administrator. She receives daily messages from her umpires on her phone and Facebook. Mary just messaged, and Craig, Sam and Jane. Struggling with managing umpire rosters like Sally? The Time Umpire software allows you to take control with ease. Check out timeumpire.com.au.
Welcome to TLC Health Clubs. With gym equipment of the highest quality, exhilarating workouts and world-class coaching, we'll help you reach your fitness goals. There's also a pool and sauna for whenever you want to dive in or sweat it out. Join today and live your best life with TLC.
As we welcome you back to this men's open game, which is going to conclude day 4. I was going to say grand final. It's got that feel about it. Michael Van Dorsen, Taryn King in commentary with you. Victoria versus New South Wales. Victoria leading by 5 goals, Taryn. It's got a very finals-like atmosphere, doesn't it?
Absolutely, it does, Michael. It's a grand final rematch from last year, which has got that sort of extra added rivalry to it. This Victorian outfit has changed up a little bit as we see a mobile circle with Roberts and Lilly. There's goal shooter and goal attack. And not a whole lot else has changed for them. Not really a whole lot of rotation possible, with Patu doing a really good job there in the centre since he's taken over from Noonan, as Lilly It's the front and his first attempt. No. He probably could have put that one up, Lily. He didn't really want to after the hands of Nikolic were really strong.
It's not what they wanted to do coming out of three-quarter time, I wouldn't have thought. Mobilia's also made some good impacts in centre after coming on, as well against his former state.
Absolutely. He was able to provide that spark that the New South Wales team needed. They were really struggling. Looked pretty lacklustre through the midcourt, but able to do well.
The punch-through factor that he had is Bryce gets this cut to the post, and they're going to get, contact call. And so they're going to get one against the centre pass early days. So the margin's cut to 4.
And we saw this early on as well in the very first quarter.
So we're going to call time.
Not quite sure.
One of the umpires we're going to change. Are we going to change umpires?
Not quite sure what's going on here.
Just looking at the get his jacket out. So one of the umpires is going to see a change.
James Matthews-Marr just taking a seat. Not quite sure why. He must be feeling a bit sore or a bit. Not quite sure what's going on there, but that's why we have reserves, though. Isn't that right, Michael?
That's exactly right. Saw one earlier where an umpire came off hobbling as well. Not just a
long ball.
Not just a war of attrition for the players, it's also for the umpires as well. As Mobilia works with Nikolic. How about that for an intercept?
Absolutely, and Zach Mobilia really strong there. It's pretty much the premier version of his game is when he's taking intercepts just like that. Those acrobatic intercepts is the New South Wales crowd, like you said, Michael, finding their voice.
So Partu with the score back to 3 goals, 25-22. Roberts flicks it back to Partu. Richardson. Good work to find it through to Lily. Lily again, top of the circle. Partu holding out the top.
Really interested by the thinking of head coach Jared Murphy as to taking off Liam Kiley. Punching really wasn't ready for that reset. Here comes Lily.
Yeah, it's a very interesting decision. I thought Kylie was doing some great job as Mobilia pushes Partu out the way to try and get his hands on that one.
Here comes Lily. Next he can, did it. So, maybe going to come to regret that decision is Jared Murphy. Is really just unable to find his footing here early on in this third quarter.
So Murphy actually having a chat with Roberts at the moment too.
As Bryce tips that one over the baseline, unfortunately for him.
I wonder if it's one of those things that we were talking about earlier in the fact that we think that these two sides are going to see each other again. And whether it's a combination that he wanted to try and he's going to have a crack at it and see whether or not they want to, whether it actually works.
As Mobilia wins more ball back for the New South Wales team.
Still next up says just calm down everybody. I wonder if that's what the thinking is behind that with Jared Murphy.
There's Vanderbilt there just trying to contact off Lily and now receiving ball, and here comes Jermac finding Mobilia. Nice ball. Hunchin had a look, wasn't able to pull it off. Here's Mobilia once again. Looking, pops that ball up over to Bryce. So very well done there from Zach Mobilia. Nice and composed on the circle's edge. As Bryce finishes off, lead back to 2 and centre pass goes the way of New South Wales now. Victoria yet to convert on their centre pass in the second half. Mobilia looking off circle now for Fokadea. Resets the next hit, and Bryce once again. You can see why he's been the most prolific of the New South Wales shooters, Michael.
And we're back to 1 goal, the difference. We haven't been this close probably since the start of the game, as that thing has been thrown away. And Partu's had enough. He's going to go to the bench at some point. So look to try and rotate the changes here due to Vic's Mobilia. Drops it back for Nexip. He'll get it back and go again.
Yeah, it looks like Noonan's going to come on in that centre bib. He's pretty much the only mid-court rotation that the Victorians have with Adam Franz. Like I said earlier in the broadcast, out with food poisoning for tonight's game, and Kylie's putting back on that goal shooter bib, Michael. So probably Jared Murphy just looking to get some more continuity in this court now as to what was working in that first half.
Yeah, that is a lovely tip there from Pushon. And he's worked it out there.
Yeah, so a good tip there from Al Punchiness. Here comes Roberts, now swinging. So perhaps maybe Coach Joe Murphy was thinking to throw off Victor Nikolic. Obviously used to that holding shoot. And there's another tip though, but not seem to be working as here comes Noonan on court and Kylie goes to the rolling subs line as Bryce finishes another. Now it's Kylie back on court.
And we're back even as well.
Fokadina now, long ball. It's Jermac. And New South Wales are back in the lead, Michael. For the first time since early in that first quarter, as Roberts is going to come back on in the goal tuck bib. Possibly maybe a bit later as Kylie, putting that one in. Settling the Victorians down, entering them into this second half.
Well, that's the first goal they've got in 6 minutes of netball.
Oh, Byron had a look. He was trying to call Al Punchin back to the post.
That doesn't count. That doesn't count. So it was a contact back at the centre circle. So the umpire on the near side made the call and no one was able to hear what he was saying over all the noise. So New South Wales.
Oh, that ball just missing. Stephen Bryce maybe took a tip on it there from Al Punchin on the way through. You see Noonan and Victoria's just looking to be stagnant now in the goal third as Nexip. Had a good piece of that one as it goes out of bounds.
Just quickly down to court 2. We're back to a 7-goal margin as Queensland are coming, but they've just been called for a footwork call. 22-29. There was ACT were out by so much in that game. Queensland making their way back.
Incredible comeback in that one. As in this one, New South Wales were almost out of this game. It seemed they were down 7 and looked pretty flat on court, but that injection of Zach Mabilia seemed to have changed their fortunes here as Lilly will look for his first goal. There it is for Connor Lilly. And now the Victorians have their own centre pass break.
So there you go again. Lilly called for it, but Richardson was able to get it. Contact call there. So Noonan will take this one against Vanderveld. Across the ball park there to Richardson. Lilly, mid-range.
Shot on the way. Just
can't get
out.
it.
And off the fingertips of Kylie there. And look at them in the goal circle there, Lilly and Kylie, just boxing in there till Nexip, not letting him go anywhere.
And Kylie has a bit of a chuckle. Vanderveld, ever since I mentioned it, I'm sure that Jared Murphy will hate me for doing it, because ever since I mentioned it, I reckon Vanderveld's got himself into the game.
I reckon so. And there's Jermac there on the baseline. Nice finish there for him. Just in other games, you've got West Australia and South Australia currently locked at 36 apiece, so 3 close games. Makes for great viewing here for you sitting at home.
So good that we've been able to broadcast these live as well. It's fantastic to see for everybody at home that are watching them. All those watching from New South Wales for this one, all over the country. Bryce works this one out nicely. Put the defence into a spin cycle.
Absolutely.
New South Wales back in front. And it looks as though we've got another reserve umpire that's joined the bench as well.
Yeah, that is Victorian umpire Amy Winchcombe there. As Jermac nearly got a piece of that one. As Matthews Mara is going to run down the tunnel, I believe. So something's not right with him. As we see Jake Hedrich roll back on into the goalkeeper bib. Now for Victoria, giving Stephen Bryce something else to look at as Lilly puts that one in.
So it's Victoria making all the changes at the moment to try and work the way forward. As Richardson slips over near side. Mabilia. Jermac, great ball. Bryce gets it. We're on the centre passes with New South Wales leading by 1. Richardson.
Long ball. That nearly hit the roof. As Kylie steps through, layup through the body contact of Dill Nexip.
Nexip was like, I don't care, if you're going to get it, you're going to be taking taking hands through.
He's got to earn it. Almost like a basketball-like contest up there, which is well in Liam Kylie's wheelhouse. Tip there from Punchin, perhaps. Mabilia now looking, resets to Vanderveld.
So Mabilia, cross to Fokadina. Bryce with a good hold. There's a contact call. Bryce will sink this one.
Absolutely. And the good thing about this game for Victoria, it's their last game up until Thursday. No, even they'll finish in the top 2, or should do anyway. So it'll be their last game till Friday.
Oh, gosh.
Last game till Friday afternoon as
Mabia.
wins that ball back. So they can give absolutely everything to this game. Just punching there gives a nice tip. As New South Wales still have another game to go.
Well, they played last Friday, Victoria, so against South Australia.
So they got a good win in that game on the Saturday night. As Lily to pick that one off, unable to.
Mabia rolls around. Fokadea trying to work this out. This goes over the top.
Oh, holding there on Jake Hendricks. Unfortunate cause, that one flew over the baseline. Because Jermack now will take this shot, I believe,
To go 2 up for New South Wales, and they've done just that.
and they have the centre to follow. So 4.5 minutes to go. Victoria probably need to rein in this lead a bit. There's a break there from Punchin.
One thing I'm noticing, there's a lot of breaking that happens on centre passes as well at the moment. There's a nice little tip over the top there from Hendricks.
Yeah, you're spot on there, Michael. A lot of breaking does seem to happen in this, in the Nationals sort of environment. As the ball to Jermack as he just escorts that ball down the baseline and draws the contact from Punchin. Hendricks trying to find a way to get these good hands over the ball, but Bryce a strong rebound. Another good shot there.
So it's a 3-goal margin to New South Wales. As they're working their way forward, they just can't seem to get any sort of fluency forward of centre here, Victoria. Only 4 goals in the quarter as opposed to 12.
Yeah, so a real big deficit here from New South Wales. They've been able to pretty much dominate this quarter as Kylie puts that one in for the Victorians.
I wonder if you sit there as a coach sometimes and they mess things up.
And those changes really early on. Just let New South Wales back into this one as Pring gets a tip. Obstruction called there on the outside though. So Hendricks and Punchin will work together here to try and stop the hold of Bryce, and Jermack in the front space gives and gets it back. Is Bryce. Obstruction called there on Hendricks. Short from Bryce. Have another crack. And there it is. So here comes Jake Noonan now for the centre pass for the Victorians. Lily trying to fight his way through the solid defence of Dylan Nexick. Now in the pocket, Nikolic is coming. Strong take there, Connor Lilly.
That was fantastic play. 2.5 to go in the third. Still a 2-goal margin going New South Wales way.
You see Jake Hendricks there just lurking at the top of the circle, having a look, seeing if there's any balls on the outside he can pick off, trying to stop Stephen Bryce before he even comes into him. Fokadea is chopped down there by Ronan Pring. Being tipped by Noonan. Jermack offside is Zach Mabilia.
Oh, that was lucky.
Absolutely.
To the Vicks.
Oh, geez, they've really given it away straight away. Punchin.
Vanderveld saw that.
Oh my goodness, this ball is just pinballing around. Victoria's there to settle. Noonan finds Richardson, now Lily, who lobs that one over the top for Kylie. And they get the break perfectly done there for the Victorians. It took them a little bit. They got there in the end. So we see Richardson with the body contact of Vanderveld trying to take him back out of this game. His next hit, just trying to find his way around the body of Liam Kylie to get back to Connor Lilly. Richardson, not a whole lot on. Contact on the outside here by Nathan Jermack. This Pring will take this pass as the ball
Slowly makes his way through.
Here's Noonan. Lily running the baseline really nicely there. Nexit was a bit late on it.
Probably should have been a bit quicker, I think, on the pass.
Yeah,
to be perfectly
absolutely.
honest.
Noonan probably could have dropped that one in. Maybe perhaps trying to get Connor Lilly close to the post. Great shot, Connor Lilly. Important shot for the Victorians coming into three-quarter time with a minute to go. Ties this game up at 33 apiece.
Ebbing and flowing as that was almost there for Noonan. This is Mabilia on the circle edge. Flicks it back to Nexup. Vanderveld, Fokadea, circle edge. Freed over to Bryce. Bryce gets this one in. And they're going to hit the front, 32 seconds. Noonan looks at the clock. We've got enough time to get this and possibly even force New South Wales, as that is a contact or obstruction.
Obstruction there. Long ball, Lily's there. Read it perfectly. That's not the ball. You can't be giving Kylie that ball with Nikolic right on top of him. 10 seconds. They've got to go quick. Mobilia wasting time. This should get advanced because that is a delay of play.
100%, but they've held time instead. This one
over the top for Kylie. So at least the Victorians did score. They won't be able to make New South use their centre pass. So New South will have that centre pass coming out of full court time as we're tied 34 apiece.
unbelievable third quarter there from New South Wales. They say it's the premiership quarter for a reason, and they have absolutely dominated that third quarter. And I'll tell you what, Jared Murphy and the team have got a fair bit to work on.
Absolutely they do. As New South win that quarter by 5. And we're going to take a break here, Michael, because that was pretty heated. Or will be a pretty intense.
The Get Active Victoria app is an easy way to step into everyday activity with videos on yoga, dance, low impact and more. Set your own goals and track your...
Sally is your local netball administrator. She receives daily messages from her umpires on her phone and Facebook. Mary just messaged, and Craig, Sam and Jane. Struggling with managing umpire rosters like Sally? The Time Umpire software allows you to take control with AU.
Hi, I'm Paul, General Manager at Strapdoor. Here at Strapdoor, we're committed to providing high quality sports tapes that keep up with the demands of athletes around Australia without breaking the bank. Every roll of tape we produce meets stringent quality standards, ensuring all athletes can perform at their best with reliable support and peak flexibility. And because we believe in the value of our products, we're offering an exclusive 30% discount offer for sporting clubs. It's the perfect time to experience the difference Strapdoor can make. Follow us on our socials for the latest offers and updates. We're here to support all athletes and clubs' journeys. Join our community and elevate your game.
As we welcome you back to Parkville, it is all tied up as we started. New South Wales and Victoria, 34 apiece, 15 minutes to go. Michael Van Dorsen, Taryn King with you in commentary. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you're watching it from, because this is an absolute cry.
Absolutely, and speaking about enjoying wherever we're watching, I'm thoroughly enjoying this game from the balcony of court 2. And my Michael, as the Victorians staying the same as they finished, so maybe giving their players such as Josh Byron and Brody Roberts a bit of a 7-minute rest, and then maybe get rolled back on as this game comes to a close. But Jake Noonan looked to provide some stability in that mid-court. Gee, not a whole lot on. Fine Spring in the back row. Richardson, Ronan Pring having to do a lot of work with the ball in his hand. Long ball, Lilly. No contact call. He wanted one. So New South Wales with the ball again, and a chance to break the Victorian centre pass as they do so often as Forker D has put that ball well towards the sideline.
The Bear was looking like he was going to go down that sideline. That was a huge turnover in the scheme of things. Noonan, not a lot of movement up ahead of the ball there.
Great take there from Noonan, because those decals on the court have seemed to be doing...
This one especially, the right-hand side.
Absolutely. I saw in the under-20s, South Australia shooter Cruz Wilson went off the court injuring his groin after falling on that decal, so maybe something to look at as the days go by. Here's Richardson now, looping that ball into Kylie, and you see the way he used his body there to protect that shot against Victor Nikolic, so really well done there from William Kylie. as the Victorians were made to work hard for that centre pass, but they got there in the end.
They did. There's an intercept again. Just quickly getting really tight under the court below us too. 32-34. Queenslander coming back against ACT. We definitely want you to keep watching the commentary with us, but I'll tell you what, if you can split screen a few different sort of streams at the moment, as this one's worked out nicely. Richardson takes it. Mabia holds on to him and says, that's nice. As we're going to get the floor white, just to take the edge off the game a little bit.
Yeah, and Ronan Pring's put up a bit sore after that contest, I think. There's not really a whole lot on the bench that can come on. I guess the rotation would be Patu back into centre and probably Noonan into that wing defence bid, but I think Coach Jared Murphy's just going to want Ronan Pring to battle through here, especially as we were saying, they've got those 2 days off coming up. So a chance for head physio Amanda to have a look. Oh no, that change is going to come. And it's just going to be Patu straight into that wing defence bib, I think. I don't know really what's going on here on court.
We're waiting for the whistle to go.
There it is.
Oh,
That ball just over the top of Connor Lilly. Really wasn't the right ball to give anyway. No. Noonan was pretty much free on the outer side. Excuse me for using AFL terms, but Van der Velde finding Nexip. Patu just waiting to come on to that wing defence to give Ronan Pring that break. Maybe even if it's just for 5 or so minutes, as that ball's tipped and Punch and collects. As Ronan Pring goes offside. Yeah, this game's getting pretty heated now, isn't it, Michael?
It is very much so. Forcadilla on the circle edge. Mabia looks for and finds Bryce. He should step in and finish that one.
Yeah, so Pring's just gone to the bench. Patu's got a lot of work to do now on Liam Forcadilla after being on in that sort of quick release to Kylie. He's going to step in and nice little layup for Liam Kylie.
Nikolic is like, what do I have to do?
There's not a whole lot you can do against Liam Kylie, although he has done a pretty good job. As this game remains pretty low scoring in the end. Michael, 36 apiece, although this court beneath us is even less so.
Oh, and Queensland have hit the front there too.
Goodness me.
Jeez, we thought that one was dead and buried.
Oh, that ball wasn't quite ready, I don't think, and he just tipped it over the baseline there. And Hendricks now finds Patu there on the circle's edge in his new position. Long time holding the ball. There is Patu once again linking with Hendricks. Oh, Noonan fumble. The problem is that they don't have Adam Franz to rotate this midcourt, and that is the importance of depth in this under championship when you've got someone that goes down with that sort of food poisoning or a sort of niggly injury as Ronan Pring has gone off. That rotation becomes less and more scarce. Mabilia, that loop arm feed. Now looking for Bryce. Hendricks read it perfectly. Contact call
on Hendricks.
That ball just dribbles in off the iron. So Victoria need to score here. There's been pressure being heaped on them. As Lilly, now with the ball bouncing it through down to Patu and finding Richardson. Lilly in the backspace. Kylie probably should have come forward. As now lay up. Oh, off the body. He's excited about that one, Liam Kylie.
Rode the contact beautifully.
As you see Eugene Lee reintroduced into that goal attack bid for New South Wales. And Roberts is going to come back on now for Lilly. So the experience of Brody Roberts is what they elect for. Hendricks with a tip.
Was that not an offensive push off there?
No, it may have seemed that way, but Bryce maybe getting away with one there on Jake Hendricks, who's a very physical man in the ring by himself, but throw in Stephen Bryce and Dylan Nexip up the other end. Quick release, and Kylie.
I suppose same sort of thing on this one too.
Yeah, very similar between the two goal shooters. Just trying to get as much space as possible as Byron. Josh Byron looks to re-enter the court into that goalkeeper bid, maybe trying to make a difference on Stephen Bryce. As that ball all the way back to Nexip and now Mabilia.
So Lee at the transverse line. Mabilia worked in nicely, finds Forcadilla with a nice bullet pass through there. Bryce holds, Hendricks got up in the air. They're able to work this one out. Hendricks will take his leave. 39-38 with the centre pass at the moment. Richardson finds Roberts. Roberts at the transverse line finding his way through to Noonan. And they're trying to work their way through. There's a contact at the top of the circle. Noonan will get the ball. So his next tip's out of play.
So Roberts will set up in the front here. Contact there on Nikolic. So Roberts should drop this in with 9 minutes to go, and he does. So Eugene Lee has been doing a real amount of work in that front space there, Michael. He's really drawing the defence, and they're just too slow to react to coming back to Stephen Bryce's Forcadell. Really nice take there on Circle's edge, working off. Byron had a crack, wasn't able to. Mobility just hesitated, probably for a bit too long as Byron out of play. Punchin just trying to work his way around the big frame of Stephen Bryce. That ball is a brilliant one from Forcadell over the jumping Al Punchin.
Tell you what, the two big goal shooters at the moment are just keeping both their sides in it. As Richardson looks for Kylie.
Right on cue as Punchin comes off for Hendricks. There's Roberts on the baseline. What he pressure from Dill Nexiv. Oh gee, it looked like Nikolic almost smacked that out of Brodie Roberts' hands. No call there from the umpire. The reserve umpire started as James Matthews-Marr went off with a possible injury. It's Forcadell looking.
Vanderveld again. Forcadell
finds Nexiv now across to Vanderveld. Looking. Contact call there on Roberts, and Nexiv not happy with his treatment. Nexiv now finding Mobilia.
Oh, what a pass.
The needle to Stephen Bryce. Obstruction called on Josh Byron. And the impact of that Ronan Pring injury, Michael, I think is what's turned the tide here. As Deepak Batu, a great defender in his own right, but just doesn't have the athleticism and pace that Ronan Pring has to be able to match Forcadell and Mobilia in the midcourt.
Yeah, you're right. As Lee takes a tumble there on Byron.
It looks like Byron's brought up a bit sore after that one. A little bit of a corky. As Al Punchin's got the goalkeeper bib on, and he's going to come on as Byron looks really sore.
So 42-39. It's out by 3 here for New South Wales. Ball goes through. Kylie gets this one baseline. He's going to try and just take a normal one and normal shot. And he rims out. As Punchin is back in goalkeeper.
Tip from Richardson.
This is going to work.
That's play on, and Kylie, great balance there. He's a big fella. A contact there from Nikolic. And the course must have met Kylie's body there at the top of the circle rather than being stopped and burned almost like a charge in basketball.
Yep.
So we're just going to get a wipe of the court here as Roberts will have this ball.
Plenty of time left in this one. 6:36 left.
Absolutely, as Nexiv just asking for an explanation from the umpire. And Kylie should just jump on the hole here. Nexiv a much smaller man than he. And there it is. And a nice layup there for Liam Kylie as Queensland have really bumped out that lead to 4 now in that game. As Lee finds Mobilia.
So Forcadell and the transverse finds Mobilia again in the pocket. Lee.
Swing ball. Lee on the baseline. Really nice work done there. That's an intentional penalty, so an advanced one as the chairlift nearly gets up and up. I think the Victorian defenders need to start trying to look at some balls on the outside of the circle rather than trying to pick off the balls from Stephen Bryce. And that is some unneeded contact there from Dill Nexiv. It must be said. And so Roberts will put this up. Nikolic just trying to muscle Kylie out of the way, but doesn't matter because Brodie Roberts puts that one in. Mobilia finds Vanderveld, and that's what I'm talking about there, Michael.
Yep.
Lee, just far too easy. Oh, great take, Forcadell.
The pace of Lee is really showing in the competition.
Tipped, I think, by Hendricks over the back. That one probably would have gone out all by itself, but Hendricks just gave it that little bit of an extra push, and New South Wales have a throw in. So Punchin to be really active now, looking on the outside, looking for a tip. As probably his Patu in a really nice position there on Forcadell. Not a whole lot for Lee to look at.
That's not bad for the Vicks as this ball goes over the top though to Bryce. And Bryce will finish this one under the post. 3 goals the margin, 44-41. Is there another twist in the tail?
Hendricks strong. Now Roberts. Kylie trying to come into the front space. Just being muscled almost, Liam Kylie. That ball's not in the right space whatsoever. Nikolic is all over Liam Kylie.
Gee, he was lucky with that one, Kylie.
All fair in the eyes of the umpires. Richardson with incredible balance, and Roberts is bodied there by Nikolic. So Nicky Nikolic is not afraid to throw his body around at all.
Not at all. As we're going to get another floor wipe. As the umpires are really making sure that we're going to have the last game of the day here.
Absolutely.
Because we're getting it to about a minute in front of the game that's below us.
Absolutely, sitting at 8:30 local time. So Roberts, they've had a few cracks at it, haven't been able to find... Noonan probably lucky not to give away a contact. Kylie, yeah, there's the contact there for Nikolic. And you can hear the crowd, they like that one.
So Roberts will step in, flick it over the top to Kylie, and he'll just lay it in nicely. 2 goals to margin, but Vicks can't get any closer at the moment.
No, they can't. It's Forkadea and Nexip just really calm in the way they move the ball. Here's Lee. Now Mobilia up goes the ball, and Bryce strong under the post as he has been since he's come on. As we were saying during that 3/4 time break, he just provides that extra stability there as opposed to Stahilski. Ball, quick release. Kylie, nice little finish there. So through the margin, as you say, Michael, Victoria can't get any closer.
Tell you what though, Victoria scoring like every 2 seconds they get the opportunity, like off their centre pass though. The flick from Richardson into Kyle is working amazingly well. It's this sort of defensive work there. Bryce will set himself.
Kylie just needs to be careful. He's been called for a few offensive contacts, so he can't give too many of those away now with 3 minutes to go and 3 down. Just needs to be careful. Here's Richardson swinging. Obstruction called on Vanderveld. So the umpire's probably going to start looking at delay calls for intentional obstructions and contacts. Is that ball well held there by Kylie? There's that offensive contact. It just looked like he was holding his space in Kylie, but no, the umpire thought it was a push-off, and based on the way this game's going, I think that'll mean that New South Wales should come away with this win.
Yep, you'd think so. We've seen an absolute ripper game. Vanderveld, Nexip, Forkadea. Geez, it feels like you call it an Australian game with that one, those 3 floating around.
Absolutely, and that'll mean that New South Wales remains the only team left undefeated in this men's open competition. They'll move to top of the...
Top of the table.
Ball there. So a bit of delay happening here from New South Wales, but goes unnoticed by the umpires. So Victoria, you probably think they're not out of it though. They remain, and there's Kylie. And that is not even close to being 3 feet from Nikolic as Kylie goes as quickly as he can. Vanderveld is really in a bad way. I think he's cramping really bad in his calf or hamstring, I think.
Or quad. I think it's actually quad, just looking at it.
Oh goodness, could be anything. Vanderveld is just off. He needs to really just get off the court. Here comes Joe Miller warming up in the wing defence bid.
Just trying to see. Primary care is there. Just trying to look at it. Roberts was the one that called time on that one too. As we get just a break in proceedings.
Just thinking into a couple of days into the future here, New South Wales haven't used either Martin Blundell or Jason Wellman. I find it hard to believe that we were used in finals if they're not used here. So head coach Beauregard really trusting that sort of 9 or 10 that she has, not using the 11th or 12th. So it's going to be a pretty long slog for New South Wales. Maybe Wellman and Blundell will be used tomorrow.
So Queensland winning this game below us as well, 47-41 after being that far down.
So really good fight back from them in that one. I'm just going to check the WA and SA game in the men's open division as well, and it looks to be Western Australia who's going to come away with a win in that one with only about a minute and a half to go, up 55-52.
So we've got 2 minutes left in this one. It's a 2-goal spread. Miller's on at wing defence for Vanderveld, who's off and sitting down.
All it takes is one turnover for the Vicks though. Doesn't look to pick off pretty much anything. Here's Lee, running Forkadea, and now Miller.
Partu with active hands as well. Malbia. Lee on the edge of the circle, trying to find a way through. Just holding or possessing the ball nicely. As they're working the way through, back to the transverse line. Mobilia doing a heap of work. Forkadea. Mobilia again. You can sense the urgency starting to build from the crowd, can't you?
Absolutely. They're doing a really good job playing around with it in New South Wales. Now the ball for Bryce. Strong take under the post. Puts it in.
That'll pretty much do it, won't it?
I think it will. Victoria haven't really looked like getting a turnover anytime soon. As Batu now, Hendricks, they need to go quick. We know they can score quickly with Kylie down there. Hendricks with the contact of Mabuya. Kylie needs to get into a good position here. There it is. Finds Noonan. Roberts coming through the front. Kylie with Nikolic occupied. Look at Nexip.
Jeez. Nexip takes the...
And the umpire is reprimanding Dill Nexip here over Liam Kylie. He's having a little chuckle in there.
46 seconds to go.
Mabuya, long time obstruction called though. And Dill Nexip's just going to take his time now.
Yep.
Just walking up.
Well, which side would you like me? That's just gamesmanship.
And,
Forkadea.
yeah, I think you're right, Michael. I think that'll probably do it for this game. And New South Wales will really enjoy this win that they've got as they get a bit of revenge over the Victorian team after the grand final last year.
They've been clinical in this last little bit as they're going to walk this one up a little bit further. Part 2 got called for the contact. Forkadea finds Lee. 2 goals will be okay. 3 will be even better, but they don't look like they're trying to figure it out.
No, there was a tale of 2 halves today, Michael, as Bryce will finish that one off to make it a 3-goal win. The Victorians really owned the first half, but New South Wales were dominant in the second half.
They were, and you can see some hugs and back slaps from everybody. Says well done. And a great game that's been shown in front of the crowd as the final score gets confirmed, 48-45. New South Wales' way. They win the last quarter by 3 goals as they turn for home 34 all. Kylie and Bryce have a good chat at the centre pass and say well done to each other. So great game that sets it up for some wonderful finals as we have a look. It was, as we said, Western Australia by 4 goals over South Australia, 56-52. So the ladder will see New South Wales finish. Well, they've still got another game, haven't they? Victoria now go to 4-1. New South Wales are now 4-0. Yep. And so we'll see these sides be playing a little bit later on. South Australia and Western Australia involved as well in the top 4. So an absolute ripping game.
Yeah, absolutely. It was pretty much close from start to finish, and as we said, tale of 2 halves. So it's going to be interesting to see when these 2 teams play off again on Friday afternoon, just before, or that will be a part of the final series, but in that winner goes to the grand final match up. So it'll be interesting to see what the result is of that one, and then the loser obviously having to play on Friday night again. So interesting performance. So a really good one for New South Wales, but the Victorians, obviously a good showing for them. Obviously they would have loved to get the win, but not the case on this occasion. So we'll see New South Wales again tomorrow. We won't see the Victorians again till that game on Friday. So yeah,
fantastic game, well supported by the crowd as well. As we will wrap things up here from Parkville from an interesting day 4. Hope you can join us for day 5. Taryn King, Michael Van Dorsa, a very big thank you for tuning into this one. Taryn, great job working with you again. And we will catch you all tomorrow for day 5 action of the AMNA Championships live from Parkville.